This is the S&P 500 one-day reading for March 9th, 2022. It's currently March 1st, 2022. The time is 9:37 p.m. The overall theme and behavior of the S&P throughout the day of the 9th, there's a downward fluctuation, kind of like a slightly bearish fluctuation, but it precedes a rally, and or a female ruler may be highlighted. We have Congress or a foreign government agency highlighted in the pre-market. There's an opportunity right around the open to play both sides, to position oneself to play both sides of the market. From the open to roughly 10 o'clock, roughly there's a move higher along a diagonal trend line to break through a horizontal resistance, meet a second resistance, and then pull back to somewhere between those two price levels. Opportunity cash in on one of the positions, at least one of the positions, between roughly 10 and 11. Between 11 and 12, we have a big push to the upside. We may be rallying out of oversold territory, or there may even be a gap higher. We have multiple failed attempts to break key resistance between roughly 12 and 1. And then between roughly 1 and 2, we decline. We fail to, those failed attempts to break the key resistance turns into a decline with increasing volatility on the way down. From roughly 2 to 3, an important price levels highlighted. The peace card is the significator. And then we have a trade opportunity. So there was a trade opportunity to play both sides of the market here, roughly between 12 and 1 during that volatility. And then there's another trade opportunity within a decline, or at the bottom of a decline, one of those two, between roughly 2 and 3, or excuse me, 3 and 4 o'clock. And then we attempt to establish support in the post-market. There is a move higher out of the decline in the last hour. There's a bit of a move higher to break through a resistance, and then turn around and break back down through that resistance, and then we attempt to establish support in the post-market. Big decline off of the high today, and then off of the low, there'll be some traveling along, like bumping up along a resistance level, possibly breaking through and meeting another one. But there'll be a significant amount of time spent bumping along resistance when coming off of the low. The sneak preview card for the following day is a big move higher with increasing bullishness as it moves, as we move forward in time. And I'm advised to trade around the big move to the upside. For today, it looks like that's likely going to be over here, but I'll know for sure once I look at the meta pattern recognition portion, so stay tuned and we'll get into that. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hello my friends, it's Approveb. This is the S&P 500 one-day reading for March 9th, 2022. It's currently March 4th, 2022, 1:51 a.m. So the overall theme and behavior for the day, for March 9th, there's going to be some like downward fluctuation. So it's going to be kind of like up and down, but on a downward trajectory. And that'll be preceding a notable move higher. It looks like the overview card or the sneak preview card for the following day, which is March 10th, is a big push to the upside with increasing momentum as we move forward in time. So that would make sense. This is like a downward fluctuation for the 9th. Behavior around the high, they're going to be a notable peak or crest that we fall sharply from. Behavior around the low, will be bumping up along resistance, notably for like an extended period of time, notable like comparatively speaking to the rest of the chart, and that'll be somewhere around the low, or we'll do that out of the low for a bit. Trade opportunity is going to be in the midst of a big move to the upside. All right, so we have a correlation to there also could be a female ruler, or something to do with the environment, or all three of these could be entwined into the theme for today. We have Congress highlighted in the pre-market. Looks like probably a female ruler highlighted in the pre-market. We have right around the open an opportunity to open positions on both sides of the market, and then we have a move higher in the first half hour, roughly from along a diagonal trend line, and we'll break through horizontal resistance, meet a second horizontal resistance before we pull back to somewhere between those two price levels. We'll meet a notable high somewhere between 10 and 11:30. It looks like, or actually 10 and 12, it looks like there's a notable high, or we have a crest here. Okay, so our first notable high is somewhere between 10 and 11:30. There's a crest at roughly 11:05, and then there's a higher crest at roughly 11:45-ish. An even higher crest at roughly 12:30-ish, and that marks a trade opportunity. There's multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, and then we have a breakdown through breakdown out of those failed attempts to break through key resistance. We'll have a breakdown with increasing volatility from roughly like that peak around 12:30 down through it looks like to a low at 210, where there's an important price level that's visited. Again, either female leader or some downward fluctuation is highlighted through correlation in the last 2 hours of trading, as well as also between roughly 10 and 11:30. But we have a notable bottom. First off, we have a trade opportunity in that volatility around 150-ish, and then there's a notable low within that 2 to 3 o'clock hour. In the midst of a decline, it looks like it's a U-shaped decline in the last hour. Excuse me. Yes, U-shaped decline in the last hour. It looks like coming out of that price level at the bottom, we turn around and we rally higher to make a notable crest or high for the day. Right around the close, we pop higher through a resistance level, and then we stay above it briefly before we break back down through that price level. And then in the post market, we have an attempt to establish we revisit established support, I should say. All right, guys, that's that's March 9th, 2022 for the S&P 500. Hope that helps you out, guys. Please let me know if it does. I love to hear that I'm helping people. Spread the word, and do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, guys. I'll see you all later.